Hi, I'm Margot Hutchins, and this is the demo video of the work I did in fall 2023 on the AI RMF app. This term, I developed the screens based on Australia's New South Wales Artificial Intelligence Assurance Framework, which was released last year. So I'll scroll through a few of these screens so you get an idea of the structure of the framework. When developing the screens, I really based the screen content based on the self-assessment section, which you can see here. So I'll scroll through the rest of this, well, not the rest, but a lot of it. And you can see the structure and the architecture of the framework, which I really had to understand when developing the screens. So I developed the screens based on the assessments and questions asked in this framework. You can get here's an example of an assessment of what an assessment screen would look like. Here's another one, and here's an example of what the questions screens would look like. So again, this is the content of the official framework. And the architecture of the app was straightforward because it is based on the existing framework, which you can see here. But learning Flutterflow was challenging. Specifically, and I will now go to the app section, or I will show the app. Specifically, what was challenging was the using containers in Flutterflow. I hadn't used containers when developing the screens before, so this time when every feature I added on a screen, from a text box to an image, all of these different features were in containers, and learning this was super time consuming, but I had to get it done, especially with finishing up the New South Wales screens. So now I'll show the screens that I developed. So this is the first screen. This probably looks similar to what you saw in the New South Wales framework. And if I scroll down, you can see a lot of the features like the slider, the text box, the image shown above, and the next question button. So if I also go back, you can see that the button here is responsive. And on the next screen, again, you can see sliders. And I'm trying to find another example. Yeah, you can also see the multiple choice buttons here are live as well. And when developing these screens, I really focused on making sure that they were visible and accessible on different devices like an iPad and a computer monitor, which you can see here. So here's an example of what it would look like on an iPad. And then here's an example of what this screen would look like on a computer monitor. When going through all the screens, we're just going to see how it looks. We're going to see how the screen looks on all the on an iPhone. And we're just going to stick with that, or else this video would be way too long. So I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly. I'm not going to go back on every single screen because, again, that's going to be very time consuming. But again, you can see here the look and feel of all the screens. Another challenging part was really making sure, making sure that the spacing, there was good spacing and the text was readable. Again, especially on an iPhone because those are smaller screens. So we're just going to go through these again pretty quickly because there is a lot of content, and you can see if you go back to the previous screen, and I don't need to go back on every single screen. So we're just going to go through this pretty quickly. So you can see the different categories here based on the NSW AI Assurance Framework, and this is the fairness categories. And now we're going into privacy and security. And these are different questions that are asked in the framework. So we're just going to go through this pretty quickly. Now we're in transparency, and we're coming to the end soon. I'll go to the back button so you can see, yeah, it works, and you're going back to the correct screen. And now we're just going to keep going. And accountability, we're now in the accountability section, and procurement, and we're pretty close to the end. So this is the final screen of the overall assessment. Again, there's a lot of text, and you can see the different multiple choices. And when I go to next question, that will take me to this screen. And if I click on this, that'll take me to the very beginning. So this is the entire demo for all the New South Wales screens. There were about 23 to 25 screens total that I developed, and we went through them pretty quickly, but you can see what they look like. So thank you very much to everyone that's watching this video, and to Professor Fail for this term. I had a great term, and I will be continuing this project in grad school. Thank you. Bye-bye.